Evening News, Info, her since publication, 1, Videos, Video Player, Bright Cove, Video Title, Jose Mourinho very impressed with Lukaku's performance, placement, lead, duration, 81, id, 5,740,535,417,001, Uploader, George Cooper, Source,
06BEF9C772FF857B6F8F237B9C80, Content Vertical, Undefined, Site, Undefined, Clearance, Network, Source URL, has lead video, True, Interaction, Name 14,339,263, greater than, he is a fantastic player, a player that is a modern midfield player, he can do everything. The only thing he's not doing yet is scoring goals, which he can. The only reason he isn't is because of the job I am giving him. I think in the future he can. We saw that in pre-season, but I am very happy with him today. In a parallel universe, Jose Mourinho is speaking about Andreas Pereira after he snubbed a deadline day loan move to Valencia at the 11th hour and finally carved out a role for himself as a deep-lying playmaker at United. The reality is, Mourinho has rarely spoken of Pereira in those kind of terms, in public. At least, and Scott McTominay has now emerged as the apple of his manager's eye. Even Pereira, the man who toured the White House alongside McTominay last summer, would have been impressed by the youngster taking his chance with another heartening display against Chelsea, just 4 days after playing against Sevilla in a huge Champions League tie. Pereira and McTominay could be back at the UCLA in this summer. Remarkably, the 21-year-old has already made more first-team appearances than Pereira managed in 6.5 years on the club's books. To date, the Brazilian has played just 136 minutes of league football for United. Already, you feel Pereira faces a fight to get back into Mourinho's plans when there are so few openings at the moment. At Valencia, he has played exclusively on the wing, but Alexis Sanchez, Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, Juan Mata and Jesse Lingard are all ahead of him in the pecking order at United. Central midfield is opening up with Michael Carrick set to retire and Marouane Fellaini, potentially, leaving the club for free at the end of the season, but Mourinho has already vowed to buy at least one midfielder in the summer. Pereira will have had time to take stock of that, having been on the sidelines with a thigh injury this month, and he will have no doubt been kept up to date on goings-on at United from pals Joel Pereira, Paul Pogba and David De Gea. The reality is, had he stayed at United, he would have surely gotten his chance because McTominay was only promoted from the reserves once he left. Tellingly, Pereira started more games in pre-season and was handed a more established squad number 15, by the time he had returned to Manchester. Mourinho was the first to spot that he could be used in midfield, and that is where he has played nearly all of his football under the Portuguese. That is unlikely to change if he returns. But what is different now is that McTominay has had a taste of life at the highest level, starting huge games in huge competitions, and has been rewarded for biding his time and doing his service in the early rounds of the Carabao Cup. That was something Pereira was not prepared to do. Of course, Pereira has benefited from playing for one of Spain's top teams. In a different city, a different system and a different playing style. But he still has to prove A, he is a Premier League player, and B, that he can cope with time on the bench. Then there is the small matter of leapfrogging Scott McTominay in the pecking order. Get all the latest Manchester United news first with our new app. Download it here now.